Nobody noticed when Emily stopped laughing. She was 16, quiet, brilliant, and spent more time online than talking to anyone in her own home. Her mother, Sarah, believed it was just another teenage phase. Between working 2 jobs and trying to keep food on the table, she rarely had the energy to ask why her daughter's bedroom lights stayed on until sunrise. One evening, Emily found an online community that seemed different. The people there welcomed her instantly. "You finally found your real family," they told her. For the first time in months, she felt understood. They praised her intelligence, listened to her fears, and convinced her that everyone outside the group was lying to her. Slowly, they isolated her from friends, school, and even her own family. Sarah had no idea. Then one night, Emily asked her mother to join a private online meeting. "They can help us," she whispered. Sarah agreed only because she wanted to understand what had changed her daughter so completely. At first, the group seemed harmless. They spoke softly about healing, purpose, and escaping a cruel world. But week after week, the conversations became darker. The leaders claimed that families were prisons. Parents who questioned them were called enemies. Anyone who left would supposedly suffer forever. Sarah began noticing how frightened Emily looked whenever she missed a meeting. It wasn't faith. It was fear. The group demanded complete obedience. They encouraged members to cut off relatives who tried to intervene. Emily cried every night but insisted she couldn't leave. "They know everything about me," she whispered. "They said they'll destroy my life if I tell anyone." Sarah felt helpless. One evening, she secretly read the messages on Emily's computer. Her heart nearly stopped. The cult leaders had manipulated dozens of teenagers. Some had disappeared from school. Others had emptied their parents' bank accounts. Many believed the leaders were the only people they could trust. Sarah immediately contacted local authorities and a cybercrime unit. They also reached out to counselors who specialized in online coercion and psychological manipulation. The investigation revealed that the so-called spiritual community was actually run by criminals who used emotional abuse to control vulnerable people across several countries. Emily blamed her mother at first. "You've ruined everything," she screamed through tears. Sarah didn't argue. She simply hugged her daughter. "I'd rather have you hate me today than lose you forever." Those words stayed with Emily. Days later, investigators showed her evidence that every promise made by the cult had been a lie. The leaders had manipulated hundreds of young people using the exact same scripts. The affection wasn't real. Neither were the friendships. Everything had been designed to gain control. Emily broke down. She realized she had been used. Recovery wasn't easy. There were panic attacks, nightmares, months of therapy. Sarah attended every session. She never blamed her daughter. She reminded her that manipulation can happen to anyone searching for love and belonging. Together, they rebuilt their lives. Emily returned to school. She volunteered at youth centers, speaking openly about online grooming and digital manipulation. She told students that dangerous groups rarely begin with threats, they begin with kindness. Years later, during a community awareness event, Emily stood beside her mother on stage. She looked at the audience filled with parents and teenagers. "If someone online tells you to trust them more than your own family," she said quietly, "that's not love." She turned toward Sarah. "My mom saved my life when I was angry enough to push her away." Sarah smiled through tears. "I never stopped believing you'd come back." The audience stood in silence before erupting into applause. Their story became a reminder that love is sometimes protecting someone even when they don't understand why. And while the internet can connect people across the world, it can also become a place where loneliness is exploited. The strongest defense is not fear. It is conversation. It is trust. It is a family willing to keep knocking on a closed bedroom door until someone finally opens it. Because sometimes, the greatest act of love is refusing to give up on the people you love, even when the whole world is trying to pull them away.